Hello, I am Charlie Simons, talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about: religion and politics. And we can talk about it all we want. But if you have an entire political party that's going to do what they want, period, and once they're in the position of power, it's like, yeah, no, we're not leaving. Remember, the Democrats always do everything they accuse us of doing, they themselves are doing, have done, will do. Now, there's many at the Hill who are saying that, oh, Mike Pence was right. He should have never certified that election in 2020. Yeah, there were too many questions. Yeah, he really kind of screwed up. So this time we're going to get it right. So we're all talking about January 20th. Oh, if we can just hang in until January 20th. Biden's lost his mind. He's pardoning everybody, including his own dog. Yes, I'm waiting for him to pardon himself. I'm waiting for that. And sending another $1 billion to Ukraine, sending how many millions of dollars, maybe even another $1 billion to Africa for what? For what? It doesn't matter. Something's happening. Money's being laundering. Filthiness has ensued, and it's been going for a while. There's a guy on here. Somebody sent me this. Thank you. Thank you to my somebody, whoever sent me this, who wants to remain anonymous. Armstrong Economics. The Democrats are now arguing that Kamala should not certify the count. Should not certify the count. Forget January 20th, which is the whole, inauguration, swearing in to the oath of office and all that kind of stuff for all of us to see, the world to see. I don't believe it's going to make it that far. I don't think we're going to get that far before they've already jacked with it. Something's coming for January 6th. I'm telling you. So that was exciting that we had people like this coming over to our side.
I really would like to know what it's going to take for people to get a clue. Since this president has been in office, we have had allegedly aliens that fall from the sky. We've had to shoot down drones belonging to foreign countries that are our enemy over our territory. We have had fires that have started in northern Canada and southern Canada, simultaneous fires that then plagued us with poison, toxic gas fumes that are upwards of 350 or more percentage meters for months. Then we had a fire in Hawaii, and our president goes down there. He does not attempt to go in front of Congress to clamor for more than $700 of assistance. He hands them pennies and looks the other way and goes back to the Ukraine ordeal. Oh, speaking of Ukraine, we have war in Ukraine. Speaking of war, we have war in Israel. Boom, there's an environmental crisis that happens with a train derailment in Ohio. Nobody gets help. 4,000 plus displaced people. Nobody gets help. The guy doesn't even come to say hello. He goes to Ukraine. We then have people chanting death to America in the streets, yet the borders remain completely wide open. Everybody went against all of Trump's policies because they said it was racist. Here we go, people. Oh, they said he did a horrible job on COVID, but yet he banned China from flying here and several other select countries that had high results of COVID. Oh, you're racist for doing that. But then he did a bad job because you said that he didn't manage the COVID pandemic properly. But yet when the medical professionals were telling him to go ahead and instill upon us the vaccine, he didn't mandate. He didn't force us to take it. You know why? Because he didn't trust those people, even though they were pay grade above him when it came to going to college, having the knowledge and the professionalism, and dealing with their own specific job duty and title. So he can't say no to the professional that went to school for 8 or 12 years. But what he could do is say, no, I'm not going to mandate it. Who mandates it? Biden. I get flyers in the mail for my 4 kids that say, hey, take this shot. We'll give you $150 per shot. I could have made $1,000 by getting my family vaccinated. Didn't do it. You know why? Because it doesn't work. Everybody that I know that got vaccinated got COVID. Oh, but it lessens it. No, it doesn't. It's a lie. It's a scam. Gas has never been below $3 a gallon since this dude taken office. 3, 4, it's been 5 sometimes. I'm paying $500 a month for just electric in the summer. Just electric. Can't wait to see what my gas bill is this month. Coming up now in the winter months here in Ohio. Food costs upwards of $3,000 a month for a family of 6. That is if you have a birthday or a holiday in the mix. Otherwise, it's $2,500 a month. That's with shopping choicely, smartly at Aldi's, Walmart. And then mixing it in with the choice of your meats and certain things that I'd like to still continue to eat. Lobster, filet mignon, whatever. $2,500 a month minimum, people. We have 8 members of Congress that are terrorists, that support Hamas. 8 on the Democratic side. 8 of them. We have people that are just chanting in our streets, "Death to America." Oh, it's okay. Let's kick out the veterans. Let's open up these homeless shelters that had Americans. Let's bring them in here. When are you gonna get a clue? When are you gonna wake up? When it's too late? I want to know.
That's great. Over 77 million of us voted for Donald J. Trump to be our next president of the United States. How do you think people are going to react? That's a guy who says, I am a Democrat and I voted for Trump. And here's why. He spelled it out very, very well. I'm grateful for people like that. I'm thankful for people like that. I'm also grateful for my guest today, Ana Vasquez from Legal Shield. We're going to be talking about so many different things, including the future of this alternative media, the podcasting and so on, where it goes from here, how it grows, how it does better, how we're going to get this news and information out to you, or just something fun to watch, which hopefully you think I'm fun to watch too, especially with my new set, my Christmas gift from my girlfriend. Look at my new set. How cool is that? I love it. So let's get Anna into the mix right now and say hello to her. My friend, welcome to Do Not Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for being had. It's my favorite joke. I have been talking with you about how to promote, how to grow. It's been a struggle on Rumble. I'll be right up front. I've been kicked off YouTube more than once now. They threatened one more time they're going to pull the whole dang channel, and I got stuff for years. I've been on YouTube for years, and I can't even use it now for my show. Even though we're live on there right now, we'll see what happens. But we're also live on my Facebook page, which has its own set of problems. And they've demonetized me on Facebook. They won't monetize me on YouTube. And Rumble pays pennies.
Yeah.
Pennies. I've been on there it's coming up on 3 years now. And I'm only up to 972 followers. It's been real hard to get people to actually just click that follow button. And it's so easy. I mean, if you could do it right now, you could do it while you're watching the show. If you're watching on Rumble, you can also click like. Clicking on like helps. I'm going to be real frank with you. This is your work. This is your world. I don't even get this whole algorithm thing. I'm not sure quite how all that works.
Well, let's talk about it. So a lot of my background is a PR manager. I'm a PR manager for high-level influencers on social media. I also do different forms of advisement as well in Legal Shield. And I got a couple other areas as well. But the focus of today is really about talking to your audience pretty much about your earlier video, about how mad people are that they feel not only that the cost of living has gone up, but they feel stuck. And when you're at that point, the question really comes down to what would happen if you knew that you had a lawyer in your pocket for barely anything, something that you could actually afford. And when these things come up in your personal life, that you can take action at any time and you don't have to worry about how you're going to handle censorship on social media because you got a lawyer in your pocket. You're not worried about the woke agenda or what's happening in your school systems because you have a lawyer in your pocket. Heaven forbid somebody comes after your children. There are so many areas of our lives that the wealthy have really they live in the world of needing lawyers all the time, but it's not available to the average individual like us who don't live in that high level lap of luxury that we can afford $250, $400 an hour for a lawyer for anything, let alone our business. So go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the left rules with an iron fist by using the legal system all the time to their advantage, as now they are packing the courts just as quickly as possible with federal judges who Biden is putting them in by the hundreds. Boom, 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 boom. It's just happening. Right. They're shaping the future Well, even while Trump is president, what can he do if everything is halted in courts by these activist judges and all the politicians on the left? I wish somebody would do a study or release some statistics. How many of them are actually attorneys? Most of them on the left seem to be attorneys. And they know that's why they're so interested in packing the Supreme Court and the federal courts and all these different courts with activist, left-leaning, crappy, even communist judges and justices. That's what they do, because they know that they can stop just about anything that anyone wants to do to stop them. They can stop it at that level, can't they now? It's happened here in California how many times, including when we all said, yeah, we want Prop 8. We want to amend our own state constitution to say that marriage is only between a man and a woman, and it passed with an overwhelming majority. What happened to it? Got stopped by one judge, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California, San Francisco. One judge has stopped many things that we have voted for, and they sit there on the shelf and they die. And that's what they count on.
It sounds like more people need to be rallying behind the idea that they have the power, first of all, to be able to fight back. That's number one. Number two is the affordability, because you can't fight back if you don't have any money in your pocket to begin with. Now, what's interesting is, and I'll just briefly say this real quick, with Legal Shield, not only is it a company that's been around 52 years, but they don't work. You're not getting like bottom of the barrel lawyers. You're not getting newbie lawyers. You're getting the top law firms in the country, in the US. And these are law firms that for 25 years have had absolutely no issues with the board. They have not had any problems. They have been compliant. They have done everything that they can to be squeaky clean. That's the kind of access that I would love to see more conservatives know that they have in their back pocket that is affordable to them. So I know for you, there's a lot of censorship. I get that regularly when I talk with other influencers similar to yourself, and behind the scenes, this is the stuff that's the focus. We just never talk about it. We never talk about it. Nobody really ever knows how things fly in your line of work, which is kind of interesting because individuals like you work very hard. I know a lot of you. You work very hard. And the repercussions of censorship constantly flag into your world. And so individuals like myself, we come out and we say, hey, we're here to help. We're here to shine a light. We're here to help bring in, because when you have some income that comes in outside of, and so many other podcasters, they normally have like a full-time job that they're doing or a part-time job, and then they do this like as a side hustle. And then other influencers that have been at it for a while, it becomes their full-time job. So then monetizing becomes a full-time aspect as well. As a listener, and I hope everybody who's listening understands this, nobody listens to you without knowing that what you're saying and who you're attracting to and who you're connecting them to is more than likely somebody that you align with and that you value. And so when we speak on that value, it's important to say, okay, well, what action can I take? Because this is all talk up until we actually take action. There's nothing that can happen in anyone's life if we don't actually take action. So sitting on your butt isn't going to help you move forward. But knowing what's available, like hearing about it and then seeing how that feels with you, that's not selling. That's just communicating. That's just saying, hey, this is what other people are doing. This is what works. This is what's been working. And I'm sure you're probably going to have some listeners that either A, own a business. I bet you any money you got people who are listening to you right now that own a business and they're in need of legal help. Or there's individuals, and I don't know if many right now, I know at least 5 or 10 that have different legal things going on with themselves. I have my own stuff. We don't talk about it. You know why? Because you don't want to wreck somebody's day with all the junk you got going on in your life. But it's things that we're going through, whether it's a J6er, right? I heard something recently about that. Friends that, I mean, just think about this. Let's say before J6, somebody like myself was on a podcast talking about protecting yourself before something happens. Let's just say that, for example, that happened. How many of the people then that were then at J6 that then got into all of this hot mess with accusations and all this stuff, had they actually had a lawyer? I wonder how differently that might have gone down. But individuals like myself didn't talk about this ahead of time.
Just the power of any business that's treating you poorly, just the power of a letter from an attorney saying, this is wrong what you've done, and you need to make this right, or we will proceed to correct it for you through the courts, is tremendous. That power of a letter from an attorney.
And it's the same thing on social media too, because you have so many conservatives that are, and I was one of them too, and especially when COVID was going on, I was censored like no one's business. I lost my following. I had a following. I lost them all. And that's what comes with being truthful, with being honest, with being a person of your word, with having integrity, right? And that's what people are attracted to. They're attracted to the influencers, to the people that are willing to speak, that are willing to put in that time, that energy into saying, this is my truth. This is where I'm at. And here's what I want to share with you so we can vibe, so we can have that connection. Now, like I said, it's all great and good until we don't have solutions for what we do next.
Right. Right. And I asked you about algorithms. Can you explain this to me, please, for anybody
Yeah.
and everybody who's watched their Facebook page? I just go back to Facebook because that's the biggest one, really,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and YouTube. And regardless of who owns them, don't forget Facebook also owns Instagram. Google owns YouTube. We know what they're all about, what their mindset is. So we shouldn't be surprised that this is happening to all of us. People
Mm-hmm.
are afraid to even post anything conservative, post any of their views on their own pages because they don't want to see what's happened to guys like me happen to them. So they're afraid now. And that is severe censorship. That is shutting people down for speaking their mind on what's supposed to be a free speech platform. What is an algorithm? How does that work? Why does it work?
Well, it works because it actually helps to grow whoever is the podcaster or the person who is entertaining somebody else with information. So when you like and you subscribe, it shifts the algorithms, it shifts the where people rank to be able to find you better. So you can be censored in the sense that those algorithms, the less people actually take action, that going back to taking action, if you don't take action in liking or subscribing to someone you actually respect and want to get more information from, you don't really help them. It just doesn't help them at all. And it's interesting because it's a simple thing to do, but then there's this inner fear of wondering, well, what's that going to, what repercussion is it going to do to you? It really doesn't do anything more to you than to help the individual who's actually putting in the effort. So on Rumble, and I'm hearing this from a number of different podcasters right now, they're feeling stuck. They're not growing. Everybody's stuck. There is a like frozen period that's happened. I know people, and mind you, I would normally work behind the scenes. People don't see me. They don't know who I am. You will see me at events, but I'll be in the background. You normally don't see me. But we have certain connections and certain things that I'm hearing about right now through Rumble, where we are going to create, where I have an individual in their company who are going to be very big disruptors for Rumble, because they're going to help individuals like yourself grow more through the algorithms. They know how to manipulate them now. And what's interesting is that, at least from what I know, Rumble, when they first created their platform, wasn't very good at putting all the dots together to make sure that what these we would call them disruptors, right? What these disruptors have figured out is going to be a nice solution to helping individuals like yourself. They didn't think that far ahead. So when you disrupt algorithms, you're just disrupting the network because you're using certain verbiage, certain words sometimes that just align for people to go in a certain direction. The the clicking on subscribing and commenting, because there's so many more layers to just liking and subscribing. You want to comment. You don't just want to do like a one word, like you want to ask questions. You want to do those things. You want to engage with the person who's making the video. You want to talk to them, have a conversation, get back into humanity, into this mode of wanting to really connect with people. That helps the person whose podcast you're listening to. It doesn't matter who it is.
Speaking of communication, I just opened the chat room. If anybody watching has any questions, feel free. But the verbiage that people use who are conservatives, they've learned, especially on YouTube, there's a special language. You can't call it what it is. You can't call it the COVID shot. You have to call it the jab. You can't say something like that election in 2020 was completely crooked, was completely stolen. And here's the proof why. They don't use that kind of language, and it just irritates me that they're dictating the English language for me. So that's part of the problem too with me, with YouTube especially.
I know, and I'll be the first one to tell you, you got to play sometimes by the rules just to play in and grow the audience to a part where you could get the most impact. Because at the end of the day, it's just what you're trying to say. It's maybe not how you say it, but it's that you're trying to say it in your own way that resonates with people. It's your voice, it's your frequency, it's all these amazing things about you, Charlie, that will really gravitate people more towards you. And I just want to piggyback real quick on something else that you were saying earlier. Not so much about the algorithms, but about people like listening that are really at this pivotal point right now. There are so many of your listeners that are going through really hard times, and everyone's always looking for a side job. I just know it because I hear it all the time in my world. Yeah. If anyone's interested, in either starting up their own podcast, or they'd like to do something where they can have a side hustle, I'd like to be able to extend myself to be able to reach out to them and talk with them directly, because right now people just need something to do that is of value to them. And one thing that I really specialize, and I've told this maybe to you, but if I didn't, I want to say it now. I specialize in making sure that whatever it is that you're passionate about, you make money doing it. I do not want you doing anything that I'm trying to push out onto you. I want it to fit in your world, or don't do it. And that's huge. A lot of people won't do that to you. They'll say, do what I'm doing, do it my way, do it this way, work this hard at it. Well, that's not how it works. You've got to do things that you love, or you're not going to feel motivated every single day to get up and do that thing. Whether it's writing a book or starting a podcast or fishing or knitting, I don't care what it is. There's a way to monetize that. And a lot of people don't know that. They think it has to be in this box. That's what the Democrats had you think. You have to be in this box. Stop being that. Don't think like that anymore. And if you really are a Republican or a freedom fighter or anybody like that, then expand your horizon and don't get stuck thinking it's only this way, even in a Republican mindset. You really want to expand as much as you can and think outside the box, because the more you think outside the box, the more you think differently from everyone else, that's where the income comes in. That's where the money comes in, because now you're not doing it like anybody else and you're being you.
Well, I would love to know how to do that. That'd be nice. And financial motivation is very, very strong for many of us, like you said, right now, who are struggling and hurting. I am one of those guys now that I always said I would never be on a fixed income. I took early retirement, and that's what I'm making. Everything on top of that is just gravy, but it's getting me by. But financially, I'm certainly not thriving. And everybody who has watched me for any length of time or listened to me on the radio for so many years knows that I share everything. I'm brutally honest about myself, so everyone knows. Yeah, Yeah, he's working hard. He's doing a lot. He keeps on trying, but yeah, what do we do from there? I
Let's
watch.
talk
So
about that. Let's talk
yeah,
about that.
good.
So you and I both know Sam Anthony,
Mm-hmm. Your
and
news.
I'm doing a partnership right now with Sam Anthony with Your News. And I know that Sam Anthony's going to talk in his way, but I want to just talk in my way real quick. If you know of a young kid, and they don't have to be a young kid, but if there's somebody who's really passionate about writing, yournews.com is perfect for them to become a first time journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're a single mom or just a mother at home that is very passionate about something in her life, or a single dad, single father, and there's something that you're really passionate about. Write about it and go on yournews.com and get monetized. Did you know you can do this? Like,
Yeah,
everything can be monetized.
I'm
Everything
on
can.
there. I'm actually
Your,
on yournews.com.
your
It's a
books,
tremendous blessing.
whatever you want to write about. I mean, movies, fishing, whatever it is that's informing people of something. You're teaching, you're educating. I mean, that's the spirit of humanity, is to teach and help others. We are naturally like that, where we want to help. And if you don't want to help, then we probably don't have a lot in common. And you're probably thinking like this: I want you to get out of that box and think, it doesn't matter if it's nature. There's ways to make money just in that alone. Just be you. Never lose you. Remind yourself that you're perfect just the way you are, even with those even with those things that you think are flaws. My hair is very fuzzy and not, doesn't have any product in it, isn't straightened, isn't anything, and yet I'm enjoying my little fluffy, moment here today. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to, this is Ana Vasquez in a very different fluffy way, and this is a different way I'm representing myself. Great.
Here's my fluffy mode.
There, see, now you got fluff too. Look at all that fluff. I think you got to put that hat back on. But you get what I'm saying? It's these moments that we're walking into in 2025, right? This is the build right now. We're getting ready to explode in a whole new year. And I really don't think enough people are ready for how much wonderful excitement is coming next year, as we enter a 9 year, as we enter a time of completion, as we enter a time of collaboration and regrouping and growing more in who we are and throwing away the old version of ourselves from the year before. There is such a layered effect that individuals like myself champion and working with individuals to say, you can do it. I'm like your cheerleader in a box. Like, try to wake up to this every day. It's that much fun. My husband gets the joy of it every day. And but the focus has to be on the person who listens. It says, yeah, it is my time. It is my time to maybe start that business. It is my time to maybe write that book, create that course, whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be a course. Maybe you're just really passionate about something that every day you think about it, it makes you happy. That's what your focus should be. Not what somebody else is telling you you should do or what you could do to make money, but what you feel in your heart to already know feels right and makes you excited.
She mentioned yournews.com. If you're interested in being a contributor, she's right. Sam Anthony from yournews.com has set it up kind of like YouTube, where he shares advertising that he sells with everybody who contributes. You go to yournews.com, you scroll to the bottom of the page, and you'll see how to invest, how to be a contributor. All the answers are down at the bottom of the page at yournews.com. Thank you, Sam Anthony, for making that happen. I've had him on many times. I'll have him on again because I always enjoy talking with him. He's a kick. And so are you. I met you at one of Clay Clark's events. What was the name
The
of that?
Reawakening in
That's it.
Cali. I forgot where
Reawakening.
in Cali it was, but it was in California.
Yeah, and that's the very first time I met you, and I'm glad to finally have you on the show. And well, I love what you're doing. Thank you very much for doing it. I hope it's being financially profitable for you as well. For people like me who are looking for a way to get some help, you offer that, and you also offer Legal Shield. which is a way for us to get legal protection at a it's like a Costco membership. Basically, you pay a very low monthly fee considering what you get, very low, and now you have an attorney, even if it's just to write a letter to somebody who's really done you poorly, done you wrong. It doesn't matter how big
Defamation.
it is.
Yeah. Legal
Defamation.
Shield will help
Wow.
with all. Yeah, Legal Shield focuses, and they do have a focus on defamation. If you are crypto, I know that there's always a conservative out there that loves their crypto. Great. Well, you can get your crypto assets protected up to $3 million in lost assets through ID Shield. And it'll cover everything from credit monitoring to your bank accounts to your username. So if you've got gamers in the family and stuff like that, it protects you online. Your phone. So if you got all those spam calls and everything like that, I mean, such a reduction in spam calls lately. I mean, for some people it's on the rise, and other people it's fallen off because of Legal Shield. So
Really? Oh, that's
yeah,
encouraging.
yeah,
And that's been tough because a lot of these scams are coming from overseas.
yes, they are.
And so we don't have any kind of legal recourse against them and what they've done or are doing. So that's encouraging.
It
Where
is.
uh, where do we go from here? What do we do
If
to?
people would like, they can click the link below that I provided to you if they're interested in Legal Shield or legal protection. If they'd like to talk more with me about whatever legal issues they got going on, they can contact me at 414-629-0313. That's 414-629-0313. That is my cell phone number. You can contact me directly. Shoot me a text, give me a call. That's totally fine. But the whole idea is maybe you either would like a side job in what it is that we're doing, or you yourself just need to make sure that you're asking the right questions. So before you sign up, you're getting the help that you need. I'll be able to do all that with you and more.
That's good to know. Um, I've been saying for several years, ever since the whole COVID thing started, and I was saying this on the radio, and a lot of the reason why I'm not on the radio after having been in it my entire adult life, radio and television, is because I have always been speaking so openly and honestly, and that got me in trouble. That was always getting me in trouble with corporate. Um, but I didn't quit. I didn't quit, but so many of us have. We've just kind of given up. I've been saying, though, we have to encourage a way for us to communicate with each other because we know where the other side stands. Excuse me. Even after, guys like Joe Scarborough and what's her face met with Trump after he won, uh, Mr. Facebook himself, Mark Zuckerberg, actually went to Mar-a-Lago and had a meeting after President Trump won, and they are acting and pretending like, oh, well, we've seen the error of our ways. Yeah, we'll do better, because they're scared to death that he's going to actually um, go after them in some way and say, look what you've been doing. Look what you're doing to people who trusted in you to have an open and honest platform for them. You're liars. You have manipulated, you've controlled, you've deleted, you've censored, you've monetarily hurt many people who are on the conservative side. So we have to have our own platform to communicate with each other. Yournews.com is one of them like that. Rumble is another one like that. Thank God for that. Thank God for X and Elon Musk turning X around and making it a more free speech and open platform. I do believe that had a tremendous, tremendous influence in people going, hey, wait, what? What? And
What do
they
you think
started
is your
asking questions.
prediction?
What's
What do you
that?
think is your prediction for where the election or where things are going to go after Trump comes in on social media? What do you think?
I think that January 6th, which is when they certify the election, will never happen. They will not certify it. They're saying the 14th Amendment says that he can't be president because he started up an insurrection against the government. That's what the 14th Amendment is all about. If you do anything to try and hurt our constitutional republic, or to bring it down. You cannot serve as president. And they're saying that he did by telling people, I'm going to have a speech at the Capitol, come here, and then we're all going to go peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol building. We're going to let our voices be heard. Well, merely because of that, they're saying he tried to bring down our constitutional republic. They always call it a democracy, which it's not. We're not a democracy. Stop letting them get away with saying that. We are a constitutional republic. I don't think that they're going to certify the election, Anna. I don't think that they're, and I don't know how we fight that. Kamala Harris, all she has to do is what Mike Pence did not do in 2020. That's still very real, very in place. I don't know what comes of that. How do we fix that? Because that's the question I asked in the very beginning after that gentleman who said, yeah, I'm a Democrat and I voted for Trump, and here's why. So, and we're going to retain power. They're going to do the very same thing that they kept accusing him that he was going to do. He was going to make it to where he couldn't even take office and all this stuff. He's tampering with the elections. He's going against our democracy.
It sounds like we're going to have to lawyer up, all of us.
I know.
It seems like the only solution. I wonder.
Because
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is all in the courts kind of thing. So right now I'm not real bullish on him ever even being able to be sworn in on January 20th because of what's going to happen on January 6th. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think we all hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
It was such a nice win just to get him to win. So anything beyond this would be crippling.
It was too big to rig. But do you think that they really care if the entire population turns against them, but they're still able to retain and keep their power? That's what they're most interested in, isn't it?
It's such a flip from what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm seeing such a flip in some of the Democrats and what they used to say a year or 2 years ago, and now they're changing. They're coming on board with Trump. So I am seeing that turn. Maybe not as quickly, maybe not as fast, but I am seeing a lot of changes.
Temporarily
on some other side. So how long it lasts? Some of us that have been in this from the very beginning, so many people that got into politics when COVID happened, like myself and so many others, right? There was a lot of that reawakening kind of, momentum and mindset. And so it's really interesting to see at the end of the day, like I said, it really comes back to us taking the action, because we've already learned there's no one we can wait for.
Well, for anyone who I'm not a rich guy, and I can't have an attorney on retainer. I don't have any of that resource available to me now. Legal Shield actually gives me that, and how do we proceed with that? At least,
yeah. The main focus is clicking the link. You want to click that link or give me a call directly, and I will walk you through whatever process you're needing in this moment in time, because everybody needs different types of legal help. And whether it's legal help for you personally, or it's ID Shield and you need some identity protection online on social media, or you need it for your business, or you need a job and you want to just do it maybe as a side hustle, less is more. But you can either be a patriot, whatever it is that matters most to you. We can find a way to niche it where you're making another form of income based around who you are as a person with your character. And I love working with people who are motivated, and I love to help them. That's really where I live. And that's really what this is all about. It's not a push or a sell. It's just, these are solutions. And I have a feeling, I know I haven't told you this before, and I haven't never said this publicly, so I'll say it on your show. I have 3 very spiritually gifted children, and I'm very careful about businesses that I partner with, because they really, really, really need to be in alignment in order to help other people. One of my children said that they saw Legal Shield as being one of the most downloaded apps on the internet in the next couple of years, in the top 10. They said it would be in the top 10. And I thought, wow, that is quite a prediction. from a child who knows nothing about business, but just heard it through their own ear. And I thought, let's give this a shot. And that's what we've been doing the last 2 months, is helping out a ton of people and a ton of individuals like your viewers. We have amazing children that we're meant to protect. And to each parent, that's the whole reason why we're still in this fight today. It's because of the children. And we know a lot more than most. And it's okay. I know a lot of people that don't know a lot about stuff that happens behind the scenes. I'm never a preacher to tell them to think the way that I do anymore. In fact, I've stopped doing that. What I started doing is I started just being a solution to any problems that they have and supporting them where they are now. So I'm not a pusher. I'm just, hey, I'm Ana Vasquez. I'm here to help whatever I can do in this moment. This is one thing I would highly recommend. So we'll see if that happens in the next couple of years. I want to come back on the show and be like, remember when I said that?
Yeah.
And we'll just take it from there.
Good. And your phone number one more time?
It's 414, and you can put it below if you need to, however you want to have that. But it's 414. It's an area code for Wisconsin, because I'm out here in the central time zone. So if you message me, I could be sleeping. Just kidding. 414-629-0313.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. You're just wonderful. Pleasure. I really appreciate you, Ana Vasquez. Thank you, my friend. And you want to help this show directly, you can do that through Venmo, venmo.com/DoNotTalk, venmo.com/DoNotTalk. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your help. Thank you for sharing. You share the show. You just help, as we covered, in tremendous ways by liking it, sharing, commenting on it, and do that for all conservative and Christian, especially, as Galatians 6, 9, and 10 talk about doing good for all, especially those of the faith. You would be helping this show, because this is my ministry. And if the Lord chooses to bless it financially, fantastic. That's a win-win. But I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it regardless. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.